talking about the man whose photograph you see right here. By name, Nana Yaw Boakye Ghanatta. Some people will simply call him Ghanatta. Ghanatta. Nana Yaw Boakye Ghanatta. My God. Nana Yaw Boakye Ghanatta, my brother, my sister, simply called Ghanatta. As some people would say, Ghanatta. My brother, my sister, was one of Ghana's prominent cartoonists, and is credited as being the first person who introduced cartoons and comics into Ghanaian newspapers and magazines. Now, in spite of Ghanatta's towering presence in what can be called Ghanaian cartoon studies, not much is known about him. My brother, my sister, today we decided to talk about Nana Yaw Boakye Ghanatta, or Ghanatta. He was born on the 27th of August in 1927. And he was born in the eastern region of Ghana, in a small village known as Achim Afosu. In the eastern region of Ghana, on the 27th of August, 1927. 18 years after Kwame Nkrumah was born. My brother, my sister, we're talking about Ghanatta, or Ghanatta, as some people would anglicize it. 27th August 1927. His father was called Openyin Joseph Kwadwo Boakye, and his mother was Dora Abena Pokua. In fact, Ghanatta lived for 96 years, from 1927 all the way to 2001, and you can see some of his cartoons. He was somebody who supported Kwame Nkrumah right from the start, and was even the president or the secretary of the Young Pioneers founded by Kwame Nkrumah. But when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown in 1966, he became the main person who was used, in fact, to fight Kwame Nkrumah and also to ridicule Kwame Nkrumah, as you can see in this cartoon. Now, when you look at the cartoon, it's supposed to represent Kwame Nkrumah and his bald head. And when you read what is there, it says you can see a human being squeezed. And he nicknamed this the so-called people's budget. It was all squeeze, squeeze, squeeze on Ghana. And he was squeezing them into his own pockets. Can you see that? And you can see soldiers standing by and puncturing wherever Nkrumah was squeezing Ghanaians into, and freeing the money and freeing people, landing one after the other. And you can see the person being squeezed is saying, you can see it. My brother, my sister, he was an anti-Nkrumahist after Nkrumah was gone. We are going to see more of these cartoons. But in the interim, let us look at the life of Ghanatta, and then we will concentrate on the cartoons. So get as many cartoons as possible. In fact, now listen to this. He was born to Openyin Joseph Kwadwo Boakye and Dora Abena Pokua on the 27th of August 1927. He died at the age of 96 in 2001. He had 6 children in all, 4 males and 2 females. My brother, my sister, one of his prominent children is A.K. Yaboa, and his parent name is Homota. And Homota is famous for the cartoon series known as Super Mugu Yaru. How many of us remember Super Mugu Yaru? Producer, find me a cartoon of Super Mugu Yaru. You will see the head so mongoloid and trampled down. In those days, if you call somebody Super Mugu Yaru, it means the person at the head of this cartoon. It was a very popular cartoon series in our newspapers, Super Mugu Yaro series. Mamiya and the rest of them would not know Super Mugu Yaro because Mugu Yaro did not come in their days. But by looking at the cartoon, you'll be able to tell the Mugu Yaro series. He was also known, apart from the Mugu Yaro series, there was another series known as Jato Magani and Baba Dogo. These were other series, cartoon series that Homota was known for. His father was known as Ghanatta or Ghanatta. Now let us concentrate on Ghanatta. Now Ghanatta became a full-time professional artist in 1960. And he was a man who was very renowned for that. He devoted his full time as a visual artist, and he worked for the United Africa Company, the literary department, for 2 years, 1951 until 1952. And then afterwards, he worked at Rendell, Palmer, and Triton Soil Laboratory. And after this short stint, that was just for 1 year, my brother, my sister, he decided to move on to work with the Department of Social Welfare and Community Department for 2 years, 1955 to 1957. From there, he joined the Guinea Press Limited and remained there until 1960. My brother, my sister, in 1966, when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown, Ghanatta established the Ghanatta Studios to become a key location for organized art workshop in Ghana. Now, beyond the studios, he also founded Cleopatra Promotions for the organization and selection of the annual Miss Ghana contest. Finally, he established the Ghanatta College of Art, the first art college of its kind in the continent of Africa. His achievement, wide. My brother, my sister, he encouraged and taught so many people to appreciate art and to become cartoonists. My brother, my sister, he was the first president of the Ofosu Youth Association, his hometown, as well as chief patron for Asuom Nkosuo Kuo. My brother, my sister, Ghanatta became the very first cartoonist in Ghana. He was also a member of several professional associations, such as the National Executive Council of Artists Associations of Ghana and the National Executive Council of Institution of Artists. Oh my God. As you were told, he was once an instructor for Ghana's Young Pioneers Movement, YPM, under Kwame Nkrumah. But when Nkrumah was overthrown, oh my God, he became one of the biggest critics of Kwame Nkrumah. And he was used to paint cartoons of Nkrumah in some propaganda, serious propaganda, including the Kankai Nyame propaganda. Now look at this. Those of you watching us on Facebook, you will see this cartoon. There's a soldier holding a bayonet. You know what a bayonet is? It's the gun that has a knife at the end of it all. And there's a woman here, and this is the engine room of the MV trawler. And there's a woman preparing some food, whatever it is. Say, the fireman, madam. And he says, I will take off the wig and see. Oh my God. My brother, my sister. And this is by Ghanatta. And that is supposed to mean that Kwame Nkrumah dressed like a woman in order to escape from the eyes of the people. Now, this is another cartoon work of Kwame Nkrumah as a snake. Now, the head there is Kwame Nkrumah, and the person that Nkrumah is trying to swallow here is Ghana. And he caused the coup d'etat of 1966 as the timely rescue. And when you look at it, you see your entanglement on Ghana. And that is Kwame Nkrumah's body has been cut by the soldiers, and he calls that Ghana Army. And for him, it was a timely invention because Kwame Nkrumah, with the fangs and the teeth of a snake, in fact, the fangs of a human snake, was about to swallow Ghana and destroy Ghana, whilst Ghana is here crying, help, 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 help. This was another cartoon by Ghanatta in 1966 when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown. More cartoons, my brother, my sister. And this is the cartoon that says a timely intervention, right? A timely rescue. And when you look at this, you see the National Treasury emptied. And this is Kwame Nkrumah sitting there as a rat. Now, the rat that has the head of a human being, bald-headed Kwame Nkrumah, sitting there and says, hi, money sweet, good living, 400 million pounds consumed, and the stomach of the rat has become big. And when you look at the balls of the rat, the balls, they are so huge and big. This was what Ghanatta painted. And it says, detention in Nkrumahism. And there you see Kwame Nkrumah in detention, my brother, my sister. And here you see the price of freedom, the life of Kotoka from birth to death. My brother, my sister, he also designed this, the price of freedom. They were all praising Kotoka for taking off Kwame Nkrumah. And this is a cartoon work by Ghanatta for the book that was written. My brother, my sister, this is the African history class. And when you look at this, it says the Usher Fort. We all remember the Usher Fort, right? It says, consider your stomach. He says, consider my stomach. In other words, the stomach is too big to go into prison. And then he says, adjust yourself. And when you look at this person, is one of the friends of Kwame Nkrumah in Nkrumah's government going into jail. My brother, my sister, at the time Nkrumah was overthrown, he had a lot of cartoon works. He was the one who also spearheaded the Kankai Nyame propaganda. Here you see, so woman, I be man. You see? So you be man. That's what he's saying. So all they are trying to say is Kwame Nkrumah is dressed like a woman with the wig, and he's walking around there, and the soldiers have been able to remove the wig, and they have seen that no, it is Kwame Nkrumah trying to, camouflage himself from the eyes of these were the propaganda pieces they put out in the days of Kwame Nkrumah to make Nkrumah look like a villain. Now the ins and outs of politics, Ghana prisons in and out. And if you look at the detainees who were arrested by Kwame Nkrumah in those days, when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown, all of them were removed. In other words, they were set free. So this was what Ghanatta was trying to depict. And he says, no condition is permanent. All of them are coming out. Say, Ibiyu, those Nkrumah appointees are now going into jail. My brother, my sister, you can see some of them, a lot of them coming into jail, whilst those who were detained are now going out. Oh my God, have mercy. Ghanatta decided to put out this. Now, one of his most famous cartoons is the Kankai Nyame one. My brother, my sister, the Kankai Nyame, Kankan, Kankai Nyame. Now, Kankai is actually a city, the biggest city in Guinea, where Sekoture was. In fact, it has a population of about 200,000 people. Kankai was a place where Nkrumah visited. There was a spiritualist there who was like a Jato that Nkrumah visited for spiritual upliftment and so on and so forth, as told to me by Reverend Chris Hesse. Now, they believe that Kankai Nyame, or the Jato, they nicknamed him in Ghana as Kankai Nyame, had given Nkrumah some juju, including human heads and a certain kind of woman that was dead, and Nkrumah was bathing from the water that came out of the woman, and all that. And the opposition at the time that had overthrown Kwame Nkrumah was able to get Ghanatta to paint those kind of cartoons and put out, and Ghanaians believed in that cartoon. You will see Kwame Nkrumah kneeling down naked, slim and naked, on the right hand side of the Kankai, and a woman painted all black with only the one eye showing and skulls of human beings left, right, and center, with Nkrumah crying for help. In fact, it doesn't look like my producer is able to find this, but it was a very powerful cartoon that came out in those days, labeling Nkrumah as an occultist. My brother, my sister, this is the story of Ghanatta. He died in 2001 at the age of 96, leaving behind 6 children. Today we remember the very first cartoonist Ghana has ever produced, Nana Yaw Boakye Ghanatta, aka Ghanaian. He achieved a lot, but he also allowed himself to be used as a propaganda tool. Today we remember you, Nyamenko. Damrifadue. Why a B? In the burden of knowledge, I ask you, now that you know the story of Yaw Boakye Ghanatta, Nana Yaw Boakye Ghanatta, what would you do? Be an any lay mini oba fe yazunda kagane mezaka yini ya pa bango boka ya nfifi ya nyanu kai na woba na yen ebe den lela ya njima singa be kunna lela ya njima singa beri. And you saw the Mugu Yaro series. The Mugu Yaro series created by his son Homota. My brother, my sister, his son also took after him. This is Mugu Yaro, Super Mugu Yaro. Catch me, Super Mugu Yaro. Na lie, wallahi. You know, this is Super Mugu Yaro returns from Europe. He was a swindler. 419. In those days, there was no term called 419. He was a swindler. That was what Super Mugu Yaro was. You look at his head. So if you have somebody with this kind of head in those days, they simply called you Super Mugu Yaro. And you be mad and angry. My brother, my sister, Homota was the one who built these cartoons. And his father was a propagandist against Nkrumah. To God be the glory.